Oh, there I am. Hi, everyone, or whoever's going to show up. As you can tell by the last couple of this one and the last video that I've done, I'm in this huge learning curve and process of expansion, I guess. So I'm just testing StreamYard to see what the advantages are of it. This year is going to be quite the year. And if you tuned into the last video that I did around, I don't even know what the title of it was, but it was a video about, um, you know, what's moving forward, what's going on in my in my own process of moving forward and my own steps toward my vision of how I want to live this next 10 years and then moving into my 70s and 80s. And I hope you did if you haven't done the guided meditation that's part of that, you can go back and do that. I'm looking at possibilities for saving time, for being more efficient in my work. And it's because I've been in this cycle of deep uh, introspection, breakthroughs, where I'm really seeing the upper end of my gifts and talents and how they can be used in service to other people. And the theme that has come up, not just in my life, and I'm talking about this because I'm feeling like a lot of you may be feeling this as well, where you're going through a cycle of deep inner work, deep expansion from within, and you've come to some clarity about who you are and what you're about and what your potential next steps are into the world. And in my vocabulary, that's called a breakthrough, where it all comes together and it comes into focus, and all of a sudden you look around and you're not operating just from this one thing that you thought you were doing, whether it's just from working with your family or with clients one-to-one, or whatever it is. You thought you were all about one thing, and then you break through to this more expansive experience of yourself. So I'm just wondering if you want to leave some comments. I know there's no one on this live, so I don't know if there is an issue with, maybe it's not the right time of day, but I'm just wondering, testing out StreamYard, if there's an issue with like secondhand secondhand streaming, just like like it's not native streaming. So I don't know if this is even going to get to anybody, but if it does get to you and you've been feeling this sense of aha, this is who I am, this is me in my expanded version, that's known as a breakthrough. Now, here's what I've also been noticing, not only in my own life, but also like talking with some of my colleagues and some of my clients. When there is a breakthrough, there's often what appears to be a breakdown. And what I mean by that is that it's like, the image I get is like an explosion happens. And if you could see my office right now, you would see what I'm talking about. But I was talking with a colleague yesterday, and she had been doing some really deep inner work and had come into had done this big clearing and this big breakthrough in her perception of herself. And she said, I don't know what happened. My programs that I had on my computer stopped working, and I couldn't get this thing uploaded, and I had all of these problems in my day. And I said, yeah, you're going through a breakthrough. You're going through that process of all of those things that don't quite match up to this new energetic level, this new level of light that you're embodying because you've been enlightened to a new expanded expression of yourself. All of that stuff that's kind of cluttering the way that you present yourself in the world, the way that you experience yourself in this expanded way, it just sort of has to, it just sort of comes up for clearing. It comes up to be reorganized, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you've been doing this work and you're doing this deep work and you've come to this clarity, and then all of a sudden the proverbial, stuff hits the fan, it's okay. Take a deep breath, because it's all part of the process of clearing away, of reorganizing what's no longer fitting with this expanded version of yourself. So this happened to me when a few weeks ago I woke up. I've been waking up lately with all kinds of guidance, like clarity of guidance about what I'm about, where my business is going, where I need to focus my attention, even guidance on, what kind of content I need to create, stuff like that. And I woke up one morning with this very clear sense that what I really do, that also incorporates human design and all of those other things that I geek out on, what I really do is I turn lights on for inside of people. Like, if you've ever had a reading with me, you know that I just sort of bounce through the chart, and then all of a sudden you'll see things, right? So I turn lights on inside of people so that they can see themselves more clearly. That's what I would do with you. That's what I do in these videos. I'm thinking you can let me know. I turn lights on for you inside of you so that you can see yourself clearly, and so that you can shine brightly, more brightly than you're already shining. I know a lot of you shine really brightly anyway. So you can shine brightly in the world. And that's all it is, pure and simple. So I took that into the Akashic Record reading that I had, that I talked about in the last video. And we really laid that out clearly as to how that, how this expanded understanding of what I'm about gets expressed through my business. And it really is going to, this is my assistant, it's really going to call out a different way that I work with the human design chart. It's really going to call out latent gifts and talents that I've been slowly putting out there in terms of energy work and all of that. And when I got all of that clarity, it's like I felt like I had it all together. And then, when started to go through the processes, like the inner work processes to really ground this energy, this expansive energy into my day-to-day life, I had the worst time. It's like I'm tripping over myself in my office, because there are things in here that I in my heart, I need to move out of my environment so that I can really streamline the way I work. Old papers, old cushions and things that were in my meditation space. And at the same time, I'm trying to bring in these new processes, these new ways of journaling and meditating and all of this stuff. And it's just, it felt like I was having this breakdown. So when my friend said, hey, this is, I had this huge breakthrough, and now it's like nothing in my technology, nothing that I'm trying is working. I'm not feeling that great. What happened? It really clicked with me that was that breakdown that comes after the breakthrough. And it can be this process of really releasing resistance, you know, just just focusing upon those things that bring more flow into your life, without getting stuck or defined by that chaos that happens with change. So, one of the other things that this whole breakthrough for me has brought up is that I really need to be on Instagram, which is like not my thing, or I'm going to say it's not my, it hasn't been my thing to this point. And I'm learning the technology of that, which is part of that chaos that appears to be a breakdown. And this morning I was trying to figure out how to do text on Instagram, and, trying to figure it out on the phone. And I saw the place where you could do a video on your story. So I know how to do video, right? So we'll start there. And I was over there just talking a few minutes about how, you don't have to let things define you, or it's really important to look at what you're allowing to define you. And part of the things that have to break down after you make a breakthrough, or as you're making a breakthrough, because you will ultimately realize that other people, their expectations from who they have perceived you to be up to this point, can start to encroach upon your own programming, your own vision of yourself. And as you're emerging into this expanded version of yourself after you made your breakthrough, those things, you're kind of vulnerable, and those things can really, if you're not careful, can really kind of cement you into a box where you're allowing something outside of you to define you. Now, in my case over on Instagram, it was me and my stories about my age, and how I don't like Instagram and how it's for younger people, and my own existential crisis around getting older, and all of that, that realization that I'm not 20 anymore. It just hit me, like, here I am at 56, and it just hit me that I'm not 25 anymore. And my sticking points around that I have been allowing to define me, not only on the platform of Instagram, or my aversion to it, but in subtle ways throughout my entire life. So that's how it has shown up for me, and for me, this year, or this time right now in this year, is about really clearing away that chaos and that debris that has sort of exploded out into my life, out into my outer life, from this inner breakthrough of clarity that I've made about what I'm truly about, about turning on those lights for you so that you can see yourself more clearly, so that you can shine more brightly, so that you can feel differently about yourself, So in order to do that, I have to kind of get rid of all of those, clear away all of those self-limiting, self-defining beliefs that are keeping me in this old box, and in turn also clean up my office and move the outer away as well. So I'm wondering what kinds of breakthroughs you've made in these first few weeks of 2020, and how that has manifested in the proverbial breakdowns of the old ways that you have seen yourself. And I'd love to hear about that in the comments. I see the two of you are on, so thank you for coming. This may be my new mode of doing videos. I will get back to doing formal videos as we move along, but there's a lot of moving and shifting parts in my inner world right now, and quite frankly, I haven't been able to really focus upon talking or doing more of those educational videos around human design. And and I've also got going on inside of me what I need to be doing in terms of bringing this next level of my workout. So that's why I haven't really posted a lot of just pre-recorded videos. So we may be working on the fly here very for a little while. And if this seems to work, if this seems to be, this StreamYard thing seems to be a thing that is going to be useful moving forward, you may see me over on Facebook at the same time as I'm here too. And I may actually have a few friends on. So let's see where this goes into this new expansion. So that's it for now, and have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will talk again soon.